great member of the Four Horsemen, Barry Windham.
Yes, baby. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
I'm exhausted. Hopefully, I didn't bore you. But
Again, it's hard when we get guys like you in here with these kind of careers. That going through the list could take about 25 minutes, man. We got to kind of cut it short.
I did my best.
Barry, I'm going to open up and just ask you, how's your health? I know you had a heart attack a couple of years ago, yeah?
Well, I didn't. I don't know what happened. I woke up one morning and I had fallen and I tore some muscles in my leg and I couldn't walk, and I went to the hospital. They couldn't find any heart problems, but I was there for 4 days while they tested me and checked everything, and I checked out okay. I just don't know. I guess I just had a bad day.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't a heart attack.
So it was not a heart attack.
Okay.
So you read also, there's a bunch of stuff out there saying you were on life support and all this other stuff.
What happens.
Just a bunch of bullshit.
There you go.
Well, that's good, man.
One less thing in the bullshit file. Good.
That's a good news. So, Barry, did you always know you're going to be a professional wrestler? Right, you come from your father, Blackjack Mulligan, incredible superstar again.
When I was growing up in Odessa, Texas, I went with my dad to the Ector County Coliseum, and we saw Dory Funk Sr. fight. And my dad was, I guess he knew the Funks, or they had talked to him or something, but that's why he was there. And that was the first time I saw it, and that's where I was born. I'd been to all kinds of events at the Ector County Coliseum, and it was just something different about wrestling. I knew then I was going to do it. So I was probably 5 or 6 when I knew I was going to do it.
Right away.
Wow.
How much did you pattern yourself after Dad in the ring style?
Well, I mean, I really tried to be different than him because I wasn't as big as him, and he just wasn't really a technical wrestler, and so I tried to learn as much as I could. But as far as the brawling and all that, I guess it's all just genetic.
Yeah.
So I guess that just came natural.
Our first memories of you were back in the days when we had the old UHF channel up here in New York, and we used to flip to the UHF, and we would get Florida Championship Wrestling, and I used to live for the night where it would come in nice and clear without the fuzz, without the snow. But hey, it's the truth though. This was the early 80s, and here we were on UHF, and we lived in New York, and we wanted our Barry Windham. This is where we first saw you. So I wanted to ask you, can you tell us your memories of Gordon Solie? And do you feel like he's the greatest announcer of all time? Because many say he is.
Gordon was all alone by himself as far as announcer. I mean, he did so much, and he was just one of the, as far as I remember, as far as television, he was a real barnstormer or a trendsetter, but because he just the way he talked, the way he described the matches, I've done it myself, hi, backdrop, you just can't forget, and you just grew up with him.
Was Solie like smoking cigarettes while he was announcing on the side when he wasn't on camera?
He kept this is before the big gulp. He had like a 64-ounce stainless steel cup that was gin and water, and he kept a pack of cigarettes that he smoked and drank during the whole show. And then whenever he was on camera, he was there.
And he was straight.
Oh yeah,
that's hilarious.
He came across as razor straight too. Wow.
But afterwards, he was blitzed.
He is the greatest announcer of all time. He pulled it off. I had no clue.
Yeah.
Look, we've had a couple of famous wrestlers in. You started your career in Florida. Lex Lugar came through Florida. You guys had a little bit of a connection in the beginning there before your careers move on, then you meet again. What were your opinions on Lugar when he first came in, and as a human being, not even a wrestler?
Well, when I was in Florida wrestling, it was 1985 or 86, I think, and Magnum had his wreck in Charlotte, and he was a real good friend of mine, so I went up there, and Dusty asked me if I'd come to work while I was there, because Magnum was out, and I said I would. And I told him, I said, there's a guy down there that you need to see is Lugar. He's a phenomenal looking athlete, and he can learn too. And Dusty listened to me, and he brought him up there. So I mean, it's just, that's just how the business works. You see somebody that has potential, you want to try to move them up.
But
work with them.
You grew up with a wrestling family, and you hear rumors that Lugar wasn't proud to be a professional wrestler. He's kind of embarrassed of it. Did you get that feeling being involved with him?
Well, I was just with Lugar last week, and he's such a different person now that, it's just...
Does he get a bad rap?
Even he admits, that he was that way.
Okay.
What did he call it? He called it flex time whenever he was being egotistical in a way. He just called it flex time. And it was just something that he called it, and his wife knew what he meant, and his friends all knew what flex time was, and that was just how he was. But he just he's a different guy now.
Because your father was old school, I'm assuming, and he must have gave you those, that whole feeling, learning from him. Did that nothing like that bothered you at all? Was it a different time, or did you feel that it was disrespecting the business?
No, I mean, at that point, I didn't really get that from him. It was later on, that he really developed that to where he didn't like the business. But when he was first starting out, he was fine. He was down there in Florida.
So by the time the Monday Night Wars are happening, Lugar has changed a lot from those earlier days you're speaking of.
Yeah.
Interesting.